Here's another late development, and this news keeps coming in as we're talking here.
That we have for y'all on today.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely. It goes with, I feel like it should go without saying, but like you rarely.
First of all, that's a good looking lady right there.
Hey, grandma had it. But like a lot of people take for granted, we always try and sit here and try and figure out like what's our purpose in life, and like what is it that you are doing to like kind of leave your legacy, leave your something to be remembered for, but like one of the most terrifying things that I think could happen to somebody is like not knowing that you were in your purpose the whole time and you were being denied it because of the color of your skin. Like the fact that you couldn't be acknowledged, there was no praise, there was no payment for your service, none of that. And then to take it a step further, it will go on to later help people that look like you, that don't look like you, and people, scientists knowing that they've benefited from it, would skip over naming a vaccine or naming a procedure after you, even though you were the reason for it. What am I talking about here before Eric goes into the deep dive? If you thought the first black person to go to the moon was X, I'm here to introduce you to A. If the polio virus vaccine should be named after Henrietta. If you ever saw someone who was having difficulties having children and then they went and got in vitro and they had children, you need to be thanking her. Mm-hmm. The COVID vaccine virus that is swimming through my blood and veins right now is thanks to her. And there's a great story on HBO and a bunch of other good stories out there about it. But it goes without saying that, we need to pay our dues and respects to it. So without any further ado, Eric, I'll let you take front and center.
Excellent, man. So today, obviously, we're talking about the late, great Henrietta Lacks. So back in 1951, she was a young mother of 5. She visited Johns Hopkins University. Ironically, we're talking about this institution yet again. She had a complaint of vaginal bleeding, but upon examination, the renowned gynecologist Dr. Howard Jones discovered a large malignant tumor on her cervix. At the time, the Johns Hopkins Hospital was one of the only few hospitals to treat poor African Americans. Shout out to Johns Hopkins for that.
Problematic, but they did their thing.
You say what?
They're sometimes problematic, but they did their thing in this one.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, according to the medical records, Mrs. Lacks began undergoing radium treatments for her cervical cancer. This was the best medical treatment available at the time, and how advanced medicine has been in like 70 years. It's crazy. So what happened was they took a sample of her cancer cells retrieved during a biopsy and was sent to Dr. George Gay's nearby tissue lab. For years, Dr. Gay, a prominent cancer and virus researcher, had been collecting cells from all patients who came to the Johns Hopkins Hospital with cervical cancer, but each sample quickly died in Dr. Gay's lab. What he would soon discover was that Mrs. Lack's cells were unlike any of the others he had seen. Where other cells would die, Mrs. Lack's cells doubled every 20 to 24 hours. Today, these incredible cells, nicknamed HeLa cells, from the first 2 letters of her first and last name, are used to study the effects of toxins, drugs, hormones, and viruses on the growth of cancer cells without experimenting on humans. They have been used to test the effects of radiation and poisons, to study the human genome, and to learn more about how viruses work, and played a crucial role in the development of the polio vaccine. Although Mrs. Lacks ultimately passed away on October 4, 1951, at the age of 31, her cells continue to impact the world. Why is this important to us today? Did she do something amazing? Some people would say no, she was just sick. But because of her going
And
to
those people would
the
be
Johns
stupid, by
Hopkins
the way. Just to
You
throw
say
that
what?
out. And those people would be stupid.
Oh, yeah, undeniably stupid. But to throw this out here, because she went into the only place that would accept her to deal with the issue of blood that she had, she was able to move medicine forward at a rate that I don't think would have happened if she had not gone in there that day. What if she would have just continued to move forward and would have died, and we never would have been able to harvest those cells through that biopsy from her to be able to continue our cancer research and ultimately understand what kind of treatments we could apply to these cancerous cells. So I think it's amazing that she does that, and I'm also really upset that she's not more well known, especially in the medical community, because for me, I want to know about people who were pioneers, whether directly or indirectly, pioneers for the advancement of our medical system and medicine as a whole. I mean, the unfortunate disease that this woman suffered, and yet we don't give any attention to it. And in fact, the cells are named after her, and no one knows why we call it a HeLa cell. So I'm really interested to see going forward how we can continue to honor her legacy, even though it was born out of strife and out of pain. I'm so excited to see, and I learned something this month about someone that I didn't know. So
the thing that also you gotta like, people really don't understand what this is. The chances of this this is like a once in a 10,000 year lifetime cycle. Like there's never been a person like her to our knowledge yet, and history's medicine is dependent on our ability to test what medication and the future of medicine will do to us. So like the fact that, you know, she's not even being compensated. You think about, like, as we said, like I said, John Hopkins isn't innocent in here, because that biopsy, and keep in mind, back in this day and age, the transfer of education and knowledge was that right of privacy, that, you know, that patient physician confidentiality didn't exist for black people back then, because they were 3/5 of a man. So she was able to, you know, create this. She not even create. She was a blessing and a curse to have this biopsy taken from her, and then without her knowledge having it put into circulation, without her knowledge, without anyone from her family ever gaining from this. It is literally just like that, like for every blessing she has, and I thank her grandson now, who is on tours, giving communications and talking about this, and still pushing to have some form of compensation made for them. I 110% agree with this being done. There's no way in hell that anyone else who has some famous tool or instrument or procedure that has their name attached to it, like the immortal cells, was an effort to remove it from her name. Like, you just have to know that she was a beautiful soul and did all of this in favor of pushing science forward. And there was a quote from her grandson and an aunt, a great aunt, that basically said when COVID came out, their concern wasn't that her cells were going to be used without their permission. It was, she can do this, right? Henrietta's cells can handle this, right? And she was assured that they could. So another great story, another great situation to be put in. And I really love the fact that we were able to find her. And, you know, it makes you feel good about seeing this happen. So I appreciate you guys joining us for this little short segment in Black History Month. This is week 3 for us. This was a head turner for us, a head scratcher, because like we didn't know a lot about this lady. We did not know much about this, as much as me and Eric like try and play the savant role in this. So we're happy to see that we were able to, like, you know, learn something new. But I hope you guys also learn something new and put the word of Henrietta Lacks out there. You know, may it be known that she was more than just a cell. She was an innovator and pushed the world of medicine forward. Like I said, the vaccine running through my blood now was thanks to her. So I had nothing else to say on that. But Eric, where can they find us?
Right here on Instagram. Right here on it. Oh, Lord, that's Instagram. We on YouTube. We on Instagram too, man. I'm sorry. My mind was on the Instagram video. I just posted on Instagram. But anyway, now we're here on YouTube. please go down there and swim in the comments section. Make sure you hit that like button or the dislike button. We take engagement all the same. Go ahead and hit that subscribe. Make sure you turn the notification bell to all. And then if you go over to our actual channel on YouTube, we got the link tree there. It should be down in the description. Hit that link tree. Shows you everywhere we are. I'm telling you, we like these everywhere.
Slow it down and we can catch the five. But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived. Shorty on my